Hey, Steve, it just seemed like you guys couldn't get past the hump in the second half. Was that the kind of feel of the game in that second half?
Yeah, no question. No question. They came out and got a couple buckets early in the second half to take the lead from 10 to whatever it was, a little more than that. And, we called a timeout. It felt like every timeout after that, we were looking up and it was 9 or had a chance to make it 9 or 7, whatever it was. And we kept talking about chipping away at it. And I think we had the right mindset there. I thought we competed harder. I thought overall this was a game where we looked like a team that can win a bunch of ball games. And North Texas is really, really good and created so many challenges for our defense. They play out of the post. They're terrific in ball screens, and they got three-point shooters. So overall, we did some things well. Again, you look at their shooting percentage and feel like we didn't defend very well. But they're a hard matchup. They shoot 50% on the year, and we did some things that we had worked on very, very well. We trapped the post early, which is not something we like to do, but we wanted to take Simmons out of the game early, which we did. They were 1 for 8 or 1 for 9 out of those trap opportunities. They were getting some good shots. They were getting some open threes from those. In the second half, they kind of turned that. But anyway, yeah, we just couldn't get over the hump. It felt like it was hovering right around 10 or 9, and we made a couple little runs there, but couldn't quite get there.
What did they do defensively to slow you guys offensively?
Well, they just really, really working hard out on the perimeter, and we anticipated them cutting the floor in half against us. We were very concerned about that. It didn't quite feel like they did that to the degree we expected. They did take a charge early. Keaton, they get up on your hip and force you down to the strong side, really load up, trying to take charges, trying to make you skip it to the weak side. And for the most part, I thought we did a decent job of skipping it over there to the weak side. Juice got a couple corner threes. But they're a good defensive team. Javon had a big night, but he had to hit some hard shots. And they got length, and their guards are real active on the ball. They just don't give you much easy.
Okay, Greg?
Hey, did you see something different from Javon tonight? He seemed very aggressive and looking for a shot in his own opportunities, more than we've seen in some previous games this year.
I think he just got a couple to go down early, and we talked about how great he and Keaton are, kind of in a little frantic actions. I think he got a couple threes after long offensive rebounds or loose balls or a couple scramble situations there early. He was able to get a couple threes to go down. And then he's amazing with those little in-between shots, one-footed floaters. Those are not easy to drive at full speed and then slow down and shoot it with touch. With people coming at you, people on the side, people coming at you, avoiding the charge. And he had a lot of buckets in that regard where he just did that very thing. Absorb the pressure, beat the pressure, shot it before the next defender could get there to take the charge. He was good. He hit hard shots. But, yeah, I think just for him to see that ball go through the net and get hot early, he carried us during a stretch there in the first half. And it was good to see.
Did you know coming in that you might want to play him all 40 minutes, or how did you end up with that sort of approach? Was it just based on what he was bringing you in this game?
It was not by design. We know that Keaton and Javon both can play big minutes. Probably heading into the season, I would have anticipated there would have been more nights where they would have both played 38 or 36 or 40. It may not be the perfect recipe when we're getting ready to line up and play again tomorrow, early in the day. But, the focus is on winning tonight's game. Those guys are gym rats. They're highly conditioned. They're seniors. Seniors tend to figure out how to play bigger minutes. Yes, I was looking at North Texas thinking that they didn't play their guys big minutes, but Hamlet played 37 and a half. So young college guys can handle it, I hope. We'll find out tomorrow. But no, it wasn't anything predetermined. Maybe with the rotation a little bit where Parrish is sliding over, playing a little bit more of the 4 because Cedric couldn't play much. That opens up one more player, one fewer perimeter player, so there's more perimeter minutes available without Parrish taking 15 or 20 of those.
This was one of the few times this year it felt like guys aside from him were just having a hard time getting going offensively until Keaton and Ivy Curry really got some shots there in the second half. Was that just a product of what they were doing defensively, or what led to some of the overall struggles on that end?
Yeah, they're a good team. I mean, ultimately, I really think that's the bottom line. I thought we had pretty good mindset. You know, we took pretty good care of the ball in the first half. We tried to run. There was some opportunities to run early. You know, they're big. They were doing a good job of keeping, you know, our interior guys. We played out of the post more this year than we typically have. Jacob, you know, wasn't able to get any easy shots. Simmons is big in there, and they got long athletes around him. So I think it was a little more of North Texas. I thought we had the right ideas on the offensive end.
What were some of your guys' points of emphasis on defense? It seemed like you mentioned doubling the post, but also against the ball screens, it seemed like you really wanted to jump out and be aggressive there as well.
Yeah, we played a softer pick and roll defense most of the year last year, which a lot of teams do play, kind of drop or a shadow coverage where the big guy stays back and the ball handler just has to fight over or under, and it allows the ball handler to survey everything. And to be honest, our thoughts as we were talking all offseason about what we wanted to do defensively, the North Texas game last year was the one that stood out in our mind the most because Hamlet is maybe as good as anybody I've seen in college at playing middle ball screens. He's big, he's strong, he's comfortable starting one way in the paint and then coming back and going the other way in the paint with a lot of traffic around him. And last year we just didn't feel like we gave him any difficulties. He was able to shoot floaters. He found Simmons over and over and over. So we started this season and talked about becoming more aggressive on the defensive end, hedging, attacking, showing on ball screens. Was something we thought would help us against a lot of opponents, but certainly against these guys. Now, I felt like it was a better coverage for us. Jacob's length helps us do that. But Hammond also missed a bunch of floaters. And I was just talking about Javon being great shooting floaters. Hamlet's typically fantastic in that regard. He can shoot them from 12, 14 feet. And he missed several of those in the second half that just rimmed out. Had those gone in, we would have been in bigger trouble. But yes, the post defense, we trapped the post almost the entire first half. We came out of that in the second half. Then we were supposed to be out of it a couple other times, and a couple of our trappers did go, and they weren't supposed to go, so there was a little breakdown on that. We know we're going to have to mix it up on Simmons. We just can't let him crab, dribble, and shoot layups, and we also can't trap him and let him shoot wide open threes on the perimeter.
Hey, Jerry?
Yeah, Coach, I just wanted to ask, it was about a 12-point game with 7 or 8 minutes left. You got it down to 2 there at the very end. Just want to ask you what happened in that stretch where you're able to cut it down at the very end to 2, and then what did you see at the very end in the last minute? And did you like what you got offensively in the last minute?
Yeah, it felt like obviously we'll go back and break down every single possession here late tonight, but it felt like there was a stretch there. I felt like in the first half, it's not your question, I'm sorry, but it felt like in the first half, when we were in the half court defensively, we were pretty good, which is ironic because that's when they're at their best. But I thought we fought and competed pretty well in the first half. Then there was a stretch, getting back to your question, a stretch in the second half where it was clearly they were walking it. We couldn't get transition. They were walking it and running their plays, and we were fighting it pretty good there. That's when we were mixing up our defense against Simmons. That's when Hamlet may have missed a couple of those floaters. We did not give many second shots in that stretch. So we were getting the stop, competing, fighting, getting the stop, coming down, getting a little bit of that. We didn't get to the rim much on them all night, but we were able to get into the middle ground and hit some of those little floaters. And just had a nice, just the way you cut into a game is you get the stop, have a good possession, go down the other end, good possession. To string together, to value possessions, understand what that looks like is still an area that we're trying to develop. North Texas is as good as anyone at doing that very thing. It's like a boa constrictor. They're going to get a good possession. Tonight they missed some of those shots, which allowed us to hang in there. But they're not going to turn it over with the game on the line. They're going to get some paint touches. We fought that off, and we came down and had some pretty good possessions there. At the very end, we did not. Their defense tightened up. We didn't get exactly the shots we wanted. We ran a play that, we had one penetration by Keaton late in the game. I think Bell had 4 fouls. We tried to go at him. He did a good job of getting in the paint and finishing. And we came back with another play where we peeled Javon back around. He got a 3-pointer off that I think would have really been a big shot at the time. I don't remember exactly the score, but we got a pretty good look on that. We executed the play, and again, they're just committed to contesting those shots. And, even though we executed, it still ended up being a contested 3.
Okay, anything else for Coach? All right, JJ.
Hey Steve, just what can you say about being 0-3 to start conference play? What's the mood of the players and the coaches right now?
Well, it's tough. Yeah, it's really, really tough. It's not what anybody envisions. The results are important. We know that, and we're 0-3. We certainly feel like we played better today than we did against Rice in either one of those ball games the other day. So there was no celebrating any positives in that game. There were some positives, but we lost the game. We got some things we can feel better about. Again, I thought we had a great couple days of practice. We were locked in shoot around. We executed the game plan. I think we made some progress. I really do. And we played better. If we play with this mindset in every game, we'll give ourselves a chance to win more games. So I think they felt that. Disappointed that we lost, certainly. To come back and cut it to be up to 1 at one point. To cut it to 1 and not be able to finish it off is disappointing. But we respect North Texas, and we know we just have to play a little bit better.